Hello. Let's talk through gaining muscle, losing fat. What I want to do in this training, as short as possible, is talk through what this looks like for beginners and what this looks like for more experienced. We did a webinar on this a few months ago. I'm not sure if we have the recording, but if you're interested in it, let me know, and either I can get it for you or we can talk through more specifics of what you're working towards. But let's start with beginners. So for a beginner, if you feel like you are ready to go on a body composition journey, a performance journey, but you want to focus on losing fat and gaining muscle, first, it will be easier for you than it is for somebody who has been in the gym for years to achieve both at the same time. With that being said, the little, warning I like to give before is lifting weights and going heavier will not make you bulky. Dasha and I both lift weights pretty heavy and pretty intensely and have been. I've been lifting since 2017. I think she's been lifting for even longer than that. And I would say we both have very feminine physiques, right? So don't think that you're going to go in there, touch some iron, and just become huge and bulky. That's not how it works. It takes a lot of dedication to gain muscle. However, if you are brand new or it's been years since you've been in the gym, you are primed to see faster results up front than somebody who's been consistent. Because the more that you train, the more consistent you are, the more you have to stress the muscle, the more you have to recover, the harder you have to go to see results in terms of muscle growth, right? So that's the first thing is you are primed for that kind of possibility of losing fat and gaining muscle. For my experienced folk, this is still a possibility for you. It might mean that you work at maintenance and it might take longer time to do both. That's why a lot of people find it more effective mentally for them to focus on bulking or growing and then cutting, but it is still pleasantly possible. So if you're new and you're ready to take that step, first and foremost, this applies to everybody, foundations have to be met. So not only do you have to be in a good spot internally, right, with gut health and hormonal health, you have to have your speed pillars, so to speak, met. So sleep, personal stress needs to be managed properly, environmental stress, exercise balance, right? You'll hear us say often that you aren't what you eat, you are what you absorb. That's the nutrition side of the house. On the training side of the house, our motto is you aren't what you train, you are what you can recover from. So if you are pouring exercise stress into, you are doing 6 workouts a day, super intense, your work is stressing you out, you're not getting good sleep, you're not recovering from that, you're probably going to start to backslide and go the opposite direction of the progress that you're looking for. So revert back to those speed pillars and make sure that those foundations are met. Get proper steps in, proper water in, proper sleep, proper stress management. Nail that down. Okay, Louisa, I feel like my speed pillars are good, my gut health is better than it's ever been, and my hormones are good. What do I do now? Okay, well, if your goal is to lose fat and gain muscle at the same time and you are brand new, I would recommend being in a slight deficit but close to maintenance, right? And slowly walk up the intensity of these trainings. This is going to let you get acclimated to the gym. I would highly recommend, once again, if you are brand new to training, utilizing an online coach or somebody to help you design a program and do form feedback to make sure that you're doing those lifts properly. I would start slow and build into it. You will most likely see some changes gradually that way. Remember that if we're losing fat and gaining muscle at the same time, the changes might be slower on the scale because this much fat weighs the same as this much muscle, right? So the scale might not change too much, but you might start to notice inches come off here and there. Really important for you to take progress photos or even measurements week to week to kind of see how things feel. Pay attention to how you feel in your clothes, but also look for non-scale and non-body wins. What I mean by that is maybe your sleep improves even more than it did before. Maybe your digestion improves, your skin improves, your energy improves. All of these things are other indications that you're getting healthier, and a healthy body is going to respond and feel and look the way that you want it to. So that's for the new beginners. Foundations nailed, start slow, work with a professional, and focus on the basics first. I know that that's slow and steady for some people is just not what you're looking for, especially when you're starting something. But those are the people who every day you make a little bit of progress. It might not seem like a lot, but at the end of the first month and the end of the next 3 months, you've stacked up so many more wins than people who go 6 trainings the first week, burn themselves out, and have to pull back. For my more experienced folk, let's say that you've taken a little time off or you've just gone through a massive gut or hormonal healing journey and you are ready to hit the ground running. My advice is so similar. Start slower. Start with a program you're familiar with, switch to a new program, make sure that those programs align with your goals. We have a whole module for this on our VIP and for our members and our clients where we talk through how to actually structure your fitness goals. One of the things that I see a lot is somebody's like, I want to, grow my glutes and grow my shoulders, but they don't actually program anything in to help with that. They do a program they found online that doesn't align with that goal. So make sure that the program that you pick is specific to what you're looking for. In your case, you could absolutely, and I encourage you to start at maintenance. If you have gone through a gut health or hormonal health healing journey, and maybe you were eating a little bit on the lower end or the higher end, regardless, start at maintenance. Hold there for a few weeks and see what changes you can accomplish by adding the training back in. At that point, if you've held, the scale hasn't changed, symptoms haven't improved, clothes don't fit differently, people aren't commenting on noticing that you look a different way, right? Your measurements don't change, none of that changes. Then that's kind of where you have to make the decision of, am I eating enough that I could drop into a deficit and focus on fat loss first? Or would it be smart for me to reverse up and focus on growing muscle before going into a deficit? Like I said, for people who have had experience in the gym and haven't had years off of training, it is going to take longer at maintenance to see some shifts. So that's why a lot of people will focus on either going into a growth phase or a cut phase. Do not hold low calorie too long or push yourself too low if you are fresh out of a gut or a hormonal health healing journey, right? You don't want to feed back into that same problem and then have to take more time off to solve that issue again. So hyper specific. What I'd love to do on this is comment below where you're at, what you're thinking, what your plan is, and let's see if we can give you guys some better guidance. You can also bring this up on our bi-weekly calls with Annika on the next one and ask for give yourself as an example and get her opinion. But I would love to help you guys plan better in the comments in this thread, because truly, it is so fun to focus once you get out of a healing journey on performance and physique, and just the fun stuff is usually what we like to call it. And so we want to make that as beneficial as possible for you guys. So hopefully this was helpful. Remember, slow and steady foundations. If you nail that and your body is healthy, the results will come easy.